I'm just going to cast it over here where these clumps are. Let the jig fall down in there and then work it through that cabbage. Always keeping an eye on that line for the slightest little pop. There one, got it. So that 360 is a really easy way to make sure those casts are right at the heart of those cabbage chunks. Okay, started hammering fish on a swim jig. The fish slow down, switch over to a finesse jig from All Terrain, working the cabbage clumps where those fish are at, and just pounding these fish. As soon as you rip it through that cabbage, a lot of times the second it comes off that cabbage, the fish hits it. If it doesn't, it hits the bottom and your line just pops. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're just in a shallow arm. There's a bunch of cabbage, and you can see here, there's a few clumps and stuff, pretty bare where the boat's sitting. But on the right side here, right out here, there's a thick clump here, some thicker clumps there, and a little bit deeper water. And you can see some white streaks out in here, and the fish are just loaded out there. So I'm just firing that finesse jig and fan casting where I know this cabbage stuff is, and those fish are just loaded. So I'm just throwing this finesse jig out into this cabbage, letting it fall down into the bottom, and then just slowly working it back. There. Those fish quit hitting that swim jig, but mixing it up and showing a different presentation is a great way to catch some more fish out of the school. Okay, so I'm gonna make a cast right alongside that wall of cabbage. There's kind of an edge between a light line of cabbage and a thick pot of cabbage. And if you get right in between there, those fish are loaded. And I can make every cast hit that with that 360 because I can see that opening between the cabbage. So if you put your jig in there, you're gonna get bit. So remember, when those swim jig fish stop biting and you're on a school of them, take a finesse jig, throw it out there, work it slow, and you're gonna pick off some extra fish.